All right, so got a pretty epic one to show you guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at another watch from Seiko, taking inspiration from their legendary first diver, the 62Mas. The watch is the SLA043, and this thing is a looker. It's a beautiful watch. Pretty cool combination of retro styling along with some fun colors. Big thanks to Sam, the owner of Gem Bijou, for lending in the watch. Gem Bijou is an authorized dealer for Seiko and many other brands. If you're shopping watches, check them out at gembijou.com. So let's take a look at the watch. All right, so I thought I'd just quickly show you guys how this comes out. It's kind of a unique box, something a little different than what you'd normally see from Seiko. Quite a large box, first of all, but on top we have the logo for the 55th anniversary. And inside we have, of course, the watch. It comes on a black waffle strap, and then there's also a spare blue waffle strap there. Down at the bottom, I'm not sure if you can make that out in this lighting, but there is a brief history of the 62Mas. It talks a little on the Japanese Antarctic research expedition the watch was a part of in 1966, and the colors of the 043 are taking inspiration from that expedition. The dial is a deep blue, but it's got some pop to it too in the right lighting. And speaking of pop, the icy blue second hand is screaming for attention. It really stands out. When I first saw pictures of this watch, I wasn't sure if it really went, but it definitely works. Adds a little fun to the look. I love how everything is squared off here. The applied hour markers, the very well finished handset, and even the rectangular tip of the second hand. The date over at the 3 blends in quite well because of that too. This watch is in the Prospex line, but for the folks that aren't a fan of the Prospex logo, it is nowhere to be found. The loom is, of course, top notch, as it usually is with Seiko divers. There's always pros and cons with Seiko dive watches, but that's one thing you can usually count on, and this doesn't disappoint. The case is interesting. It's my first hands-on experience with Seiko's Ever Brilliant steel, which is a more durable, corrosion-resistant steel. There's not a ton of information out there on it I was able to find, but the way it's described sounds similar to the Rolex 904L steel. The finish work is very well done with super sharp lines, beautiful side profile with that curvature of the lugs. The lugs are drilled, making it a little easier to swap straps. The case back has the logo engraved there. This watch is limited to 1,700 pieces, and it's numbered here on the case back as well. The crown is signed Seiko, and between the lack of crown guards and the size of the crown, it's easy to grip and use. The winding action of the 8L35 movement has a nice feel. The movement is based on the Grand Seiko 9S55. It's a 26 jewel movement beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour with a 50-hour power reserve. The bezel is a 120 click bezel, unidirectional, so only turns counterclockwise. The insert is ceramic, nice coin edge, and man, this feels amazing to use. It's definitely not your typical Seiko bezel action, and guess what? Everything lines up. Kind of sucks that's even in need of being mentioned, but we all know the deal with Seiko and the alignment problems they have on some of their watches, but this one is good to go. The size on the watch is good. It is a little bit thick at 14.1 millimeters, but I don't mind that on a diver like this. And a good bit of that measurement is the sapphire crystal, which is gorgeous, by the way. It really plays a big part in the overall look of the watch. Case width is approximately 39.5 millimeters. Lug to lug is 47.7, and the lug opening, unfortunately, is 19 millimeters. So we've got an odd size. Of course, 20 would be nice, but it is 19. Water resistance on the watch is 200 meters. Of all the Seiko divers I've owned or tried, this is for sure one of my all-time favorites, just in terms of how it wears. It wears great on my 7.25-inch wrist. Just a stunning watch. MSRP on this one is $59.95 Canadian or 4,500 USD. If you're looking for one, this is currently available at gembijou.com. Thanks to them for lending it in. Thanks for stopping by for a quick look at the SLA043, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.